Hello everyone, welcome back to the non-league treatment room with me, Cookie. As always, Davo is alongside me. How are you, mate? You good?
Yeah, all good, mate.
Back again for another one.
We are. What a setup again as well.
Yeah.
We've got some sparkles in the back this time.
We have. It's like the sea, isn't it?
It is, mate.
It's like the deep sea. It's beautiful. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in. Make sure if you are watching, make sure you subscribe, like, follow, all that as well, because we're trying to build our YouTube and head over to our socials as well, because it helps out massively. So we hope you enjoy it and go and check out some more of our stuff as well, because it helps us out and we love doing it. But let's get on to today's guest.
Yeah.
A special one as well. We've
Close
just
to
been
home.
Talking about this. Close to home.
Yeah.
Currently still playing for the club where we were at, Atherstone Town.
Yeah, and that's the first one as well, isn't it? We spoke about that just
Yeah, it
before
is.
we
First
started.
like live player,
Yeah.
isn't it? Obviously, we had Tom on as a manager and stuff, didn't we? Which was
Yeah.
a really interesting one. But now it's from a player's perspective.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Good career as well.
Very good, mate.
You know, he's been at some clubs.
He has been at some clubs.
So we get into those and find out some juicy gossip and what it's like to play for your local club as well, actually.
Born and bred there.
Born
yeah.
and bred, you know, local boy. So let's get into it. Anyway,
Yeah, let's do it.
in the treatment room tonight, we are joined by a player whose dedication to the game has taken him from the youth ranks at Coventry City and making nearly 200 appearances for Leamington. A talented left back now turned centre back. Has battled through injuries and continued a career with clubs like Nuneaton Borough, Leamington, Atherstone, where he's currently at. We'll dive into his journey, the highs, the lows, and what drives him on and off the pitch. Please welcome Connor Gudger.
How are you, Gudge?
All right, lads. All right. How are you? All right.
Did you like that intro, mate?
I love that intro. I feel so old now that I forgot all that. So it's nice to hear it again and actually remember it.
We're going to have to pick back through his brain here, ain't we?
That's it. And these intros, you can keep that for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You can
Play
play
that.
that.
I'd have forgot it in 10 minutes, but I'll get it on, I'll get it on the YouTube. Don't
I'll
worry
send
about
you
it.
a voice note. You can play that before your games, get yourself fired up.
He's brought us a lovely gift as well, only Cookie. There are other beers on offer, but he's brought us some lovely beers just to wet the whistle.
That's it. I know. I forgot.
Couldn't turn down a beer with YouTube. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah. This makes this more relaxed, doesn't it?
It does, mate.
You know,
It does.
so-
Well, we say, don't we, when we have these ones where we have close relationships with the players, it's a lot more relaxed, and we can I can dig him out more than I'll be able to dig someone out. But,
Well, we've been in the
Dig away, mate.
we've been in the dressing room, haven't we? You know,
Yeah.
We've been in the dressing room together. We've won the league together.
yeah, cups.
Cups, just a lot of memories, isn't it? I've known Gudger as well since Barwell days as well, and that's why. And sort of around the town. Obviously, I lived in Atherstone.
Yeah,
A few more grey hairs between us now.
Yeah, there is, isn't there? There is, especially me.
I don't know.
you two are both younger than me, and I ain't got a grey hair on my head, lads. What's going on?
Just for men.
Yeah, that's it. How are you anyway?
All good, mate. Yeah, all good.
Good. Season
good.
going well so far.
It's going well so far, yeah. I mean, it's crunch time now, isn't it? So we're sitting nice, we're in the playoffs, and we're in a bit of an awkward position at the minute, I think, where we could easily slip out the playoffs if we lose a few, but then you win a few and you're almost knocking on Lichfield kind of tails. So yeah.
Is it quite tight? I've not looked at the league.
Yeah,
so
it is, mate.
Is it
really
quite tight?
Yeah.
And
There's-
the
there's-
results at the weekend out you out a little. I mean, Lichfield were losing at one point.
Lichfield, they won again, yeah, but Shifnal and Northwich played each other, which is always a good thing. That was 0-0.
Yeah,
Brockton took a hammer away at Wolf, so it was a good, productive weekend for us, actually.
very imperative that you got the 3 points on the Saturday then.
Exactly.
And I come down and watched, and it was the pitch, mate. It held strong.
I saw the pictures, and
Yeah.
I just saw a picture of you, head to toe in mud, where obviously you've been heading the ball.
Yeah.
Your face was plastered, and I thought that just looks.
Suited me.
Yeah.
It's the first
Well,
MOM I've got this year, and that's why
Was it?
didn't have to play.
Because you weren't
Then
injured,
kick it.
good. That's why.
Well, it'd be one of
Head
those.
and kick it.
It'd be one of those. If you come off the pitch with a clean shirt, you ain't done enough.
There weren't
have
one,
you?
mate. I'm telling you, there was not one.
no.
Nah, it was ridiculous.
What's not
To be
one?
fair, before the game it was playable.
Yeah.
But then 20 minutes in it got real boggy. Hard to stand up, to be fair, but
Like you said to me though, outside, it suited the way that you guys sort of wanted to play, didn't it? Really?
yeah. I think if you're looking for a team that want to grind and battle, and with Lewis Collins up front, you know what you're going to get. You can just boot it up and He's going to get you something. He's going to win something. So it suits us, I think, personally. But
yeah, decent. We are going to talk a lot about Atherstone, but we want to dive into your early career. You know, because you, like I said, you have played at National League North. You know, you played at a really high level of non-league football. So we want to sort of dive into that and see those experiences and journeys of how it's brought you to where you are now and what could have been. So where did the football all start for you? Where did it all start?
All started about 300 yards down the road, down the 3Ms of Atherstone Rangers. Noel Johnson Senior, bless him, he's gone now, and Noel Johnson Junior. They come and knocked my dad's door when I was 7 years old, saying, "Do you fancy coming down to the Rangers?" So I went down there, and to be fair, Noel Junior still tells me to this day, he says, "I've seen you for 2 or 3 training sessions." And he said, I come and spoke to your dad and said, "Look, you got a player on your hands here. I think you need to try and speak to a couple of scouts, get him watched, see where he can go." So I did a year at the Rangers under 7s, and then I went on trial at Villa initially.
Wow.
I was on trial at Villa and Cov at the same time, and we had the choice. But at that time, Cov were renowned, and they still are now, to be fair. But they were renowned for having a really good academy set up and bringing kids through. So obviously 8 years old, 7 years old, I didn't really have a choice in the matter. It was my dad's call. So signed a deal at Cov at 8, and then I ended up being there till 19, I think I got released.
That's so early, isn't it?
So
8 years old.
Did 11 years, yeah.
That's a long time as well, though, at one club.
Yeah.
It felt like forever, do you know what I mean? Like it felt like I never knew anything else.
Well, when we speak to other guests and they talk about playing for academies and stuff, obviously you only had a year of essentially playing with your mates, didn't you?
Yeah.
Did you miss it?
I did, but I got to play with them at school.
Yeah.
You always had the school teams. And to be fair to Cov, a lot of academies will stop you playing for the school sides.
They do, yeah.
Cov never did that. So for me, I mean, it was drilled into me from a young age. My uncle played football. He played for Blues. He was at England schoolboys. My dad always played at a decent level. It was almost drilled into me at a young age. This is what you're going to do. So even at such a young age, I was focused on, I'm going to be a footballer. Playing with my mates didn't matter to me because that's what I wanted to do. So I didn't really miss it that much, to be honest. No. That's the honest answer.
Was it quite strict? Were your parents quite strict then with your football then?
I wouldn't say strict as in like they forced me to go. If I'd have turned around and said I don't want to go, they wouldn't have made me go. But my dad, my uncle, both my granddads, they're all just football mad.
Yeah. And so they were like pushing you and they wanted you to succeed basically, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah. And I think as you get older, as I got to kind of the age of 14, 15, and you begin to realise just how much of how much dedication they put in to getting you to training. When they have to drive 35 minutes to Cov every night, my grandma and granddad are taking me one night, my mum and dad are taking me one night. It's 3 days a week back then. So when you understand what they're doing for you, you kind of feel like, well, the minimum I can do is stay dedicated and, do you know what I mean? Not just do it for myself, but do it for them.
What's it like? So when does it start to get real then? Good, would you say? Like, is it because obviously at that young age, when you're 8 years old and you sign there, I suppose it's just like playing for another team, isn't it?
Yeah.
But when did it kick in where you were like, right, I need to start performing? And you're not just playing for your shirt, you're playing for your contract as well, ain't you? Really?
Yeah. I would probably say around the age of 14. That's when the academy manager at the time, he come into the school and he requested that I take day release. Yeah. 1 day a week day release. So that's when it kind of started to feel real and it gets serious. And as you say, you got 2 years then to earn your scholarship, which comes at 16. And then after that, it's serious. So I'd say about 14 was when it hit me.
So what was the feeling when you got your scholarship then?
Oh God, I'd been there. I was only 16, but I'd been at a club 8 years. So, I remember my mum and dad bursting into tears when they told me. I was a bit young, and I still felt quite young. I didn't quite understand what was happening. I was just excited. But yeah, it was an emotional time for the family. They'd put so much into it. I'd put so much into it, and I was just excited.
Yeah.
I suppose it's hard to plan though, isn't it, when you're, because we've never been in this position, but you drilled at a young age to sort of, and I work in education, and it's drilled into these young kids to plan their career and think about what you want to do in college, think about what you want to go and study at university.
Yeah.
And I feel that there's pressure on footballers a little bit because it can all end like that, can't it?
There's massive pressure.
Yeah.
There's massive pressure from, especially in a small town like this.
Yeah.
Everyone knows everyone.
Yeah.
And everyone knew me as the kid that was at Cov and that was going to make it.
Pressure.
And that's the pressure. That's the pressure. Not outside void, not outside interference, but that was the pressure for me. Everyone thought Conor Gudger's going to make it. He's got to make it. He's a kid from Atherstone that's going to do something in the game. And that was the pressure.
But me knowing you now, I know that you don't really feel pressure. Do you really? Like, you're not.
But as you get older, you learn to you learn to deal with it, don't you? You mature and you don't necessarily care what people think anymore. I've got nothing to prove anymore. But at that age, I had everything to prove.
Yeah. And were you like? Because obviously it's irrelevant what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it. Obviously now you play centre half now, right?
Yeah.
Did you join Cov as a left back?
It's going to be really hard for you two to believe this.
No, he's going to say centre forward.
No. Well, you two have seen me in my older years, let's say.
Yeah.
And only as a centre half.
Yeah.
But as like every kid does at 7-8 years old, you notice because you score goals.
Right.
So I was a centre forward at 8.
Yeah.
They very quickly turned me into a left back.
Yeah.
But believe it or not, I was renowned and known up to probably the age of 27, I would say. Not that long until I did my ACL. I was renowned and known as an attacking fullback.
Yeah.
I even played a lot. I played in step 1 and step 2 as a left winger for probably 50 games. So I was up and down. That was my game. And obviously I did my ACL, slowed down, and you know me as a centre half, and seems like a different world away from me. But that's what I was.
You're not disrespect. You're not blessed with height. Obviously,
No.
You've got a very, very good jump, and your timing is crisp as anything. Like even now when I watch it, but I had a feeling you were going to say that centre forward. Were you rapid back then?
I was always really quick.
Yeah.
Again,
Well, you're not slow.
you're going to take the piss because
Yeah.
you've seen me at centre
You're not
half.
slow, though.
But I was really quick. That was my game.
Yeah.
That was my game.
Just like bombing down the wing, whipping it in.
I can't imagine
so
him chucking a
fit.
step over it.
I've never had a step over in my locker. Don't get me wrong, but
No.
it was like knock it past them, run round and cross. You know
Just
what I mean?
deliver.
That were my limits. But I was up and down, and I was so fit. So fit.
To be fair, when I was doing like a bit of research, like old pictures come up, and you were like, not saying you're overweight now, but you were you filled out more, like you're bulkier now.
Yeah.
Whereas then you were like slim, slim, and just looked around. You know when you look at someone, you go, you're rapid. Like,
Yeah.
you
I still look back at photos myself now, and I think exactly the same.
Yeah.
And I think, how was I so slim then?
Yeah, like you
What
were
have I
slim,
done?
weren't you?
Too many Pinocchios.
But what sort of players did you come up with then? Especially at the age you are now, I reckon you've come through with some.
Honestly, like I would say, out of my whole youth team, I was probably one of 3 or 4 that didn't really ever go on and play league football.
Really?
We had a really good youth team.
Yeah.
Really, if you know lower leagues, you'll know a lot of the names. So we had the biggest name's probably Callum Wilson. He's gone on, obviously scored international goals. So after so you got Callum Wilson, Cyrus Christie.
Yeah.
Ashley Kane was in our youth team. You had Nathan Cameron, who's played in the
Centre
league.
half.
Gail Bigaramana,
Yeah.
played a Premiership for Newcastle. Connor Thomas played league. Jordan Clark has played league football.
Fullback. Yeah.
Lee Burge, keeper, Sunderland. There'd be more that I've missed, but there was so many that seemed to go on from our youth team and play at a level.
So were you? How did you feel like that wasn't you then, going on and playing?
I was
Going and playing.
I'll tell you why I was gutted when I was released, because I think as a footballer, and you sometimes you know if you're in favour, you know if you're out of favour. You have a gut feeling of where you're at. But when I got released from Cov, I felt like I was loved. It was Adi Boothroyd, his first team manager at the time, and we'll come on to other clubs, I'm sure. But he sent me on loan to Hinckley, and he was there every other week watching me at Hinckley. He put the effort in to come watch me when he could. On Tuesday night games, if the first team didn't have a game, I was playing reserves games. I was training with the first team. So I honestly believed in my heart of hearts that I was going to get my pro, and I was going to move on. So I think that's why I was obviously gutted because I've been there a long time, but I was more gutted because I believed that I was going to stay there.
Yeah, because it's sort of those signs, isn't it? He's
Yeah.
coming to watch me. I'm training with the first team. I'm playing a lot of reserve games. Because you see now some players they won't play at all, and they're still there, aren't they? Sort of thing. So,
I feel like we could make a montage of how players and why players were released from academies.
Yeah.
What was the actual? Please don't say the small car.
No, it weren't small with me. No,
No.
it weren't small with me. It was quite honest. To be fair, he actually started crying in the room, which I was really surprised at. And as soon as he started crying, I knew what answer was coming, because he, like I've just said and like I explained, he seemed to show a lot of time for me.
Yeah.
And he said to me, look, he's probably said it to a million kids since, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But he said to me, it's one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make on a youth team player. He said, I've got a lot of time for you. He said, but I've got 2 left backs here already on 3-year deals. He said, I've got, I think Chris Hussey was there at the time.
Yeah.
Probably, in my opinion, probably a left back that club's had in the last 20 years. Martin Craney.
yes, yeah.
He was first team left back.
Yeah, he was really good.
And
Would he not
Hussey,
been Fox? Would Dan Fox not have?
No.
he was there he was there when I was probably 14, 15.
Right.
Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They brought in Craney, so he was playing them. I'd just signed Chris Hussey. So he said, I'll be honest with you, so I've got these 2 on 3-year deals. I'd sign you, but what am I going to do with you? He said, I've got nothing for you.
You're not just signing you and sending you out on loan. Because what would Coventry have been in at the time then, champ?
They were champ. I was probably... I don't want to sound like I'm making excuses here either, but it was a really good first team side at the time.
Yeah.
It was when they had Kieran Westwood in goal, Marlon King had just signed, as I just said, Craney.
Would Madison been first team as well, or would he have?
Madison
he
was
would have been
2
playing,
years
he would
younger
play,
than me,
yeah,
so he was
yeah.
still coming. But they had Lee Carsley was captain back then.
Yeah.
They had a really, in my opinion, probably the best team they've had there for 20 years, probably, which also never helped.
Yeah.
Because 2 years after we left, when Madison's year started coming through, they had like a big. They went to pot, didn't they?
Yeah,
Cov?
that's when they sort of went trickling down.
They lost all
leagues
the
and-
first team players, and every youth team player seemed to get a deal.
Because they were playing youth players, weren't they?
Yeah,
playing,
they had to play youth players.
because they were down in League 2 or whatever,
Yeah.
no stadium and all that.
So
and that's-
naturally, your Gail Bigger Amanas, your Connor Thomases, then that were just a year or 2 younger, your Madisons, they got that. They got chucked straight in. You know what it's like once you've been somewhere in the league, someone else will take a punt on you then, and you stay in the league.
Would you advise kids of today, Gudge, to go and sign for an academy at such a young age?
Yes, I would.
Really? What would be your reasons?
I would. I think, as well as football, I think it gives you a lot of discipline in life
Yeah.
as well. Keeps you out of trouble, keeps you grounded, keeps you doing things like pumping up balls, washing bibs, in an age, in my opinion, where kids are now wrapped up in cotton wool and soft as shit, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, and we'll probably talk about that a bit more in
That's
what
it.
I see in changing rooms.
Yeah.
You would have had that, wouldn't you? When you were there, you would
Yeah,
have been
we-
washing boots.
Cleaning
with-
boots.
I got £70 a week on my first year scholar, and if we didn't clean the boots of the first team lads, if we didn't pump up the balls, we didn't wash the bibs, get the cones in, they'd find you 30 quid, so you come in for free. Do you know what I mean? But that's how it was. Sweep the changing rooms after, you wouldn't just bang your boots and leave it for someone else to do.
How
So I
it's
think,
changed.
Mate, crazy.
yeah, it has. And
But you're right, life skills, innit?
life skills, and how can you... I don't understand these people that say you can start too early at something that you want to master and be good at.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Surely the earlier you start, the
Would you say that that's the best? Obviously, you were there a long time. You know, we're talking your football career. you're nearly coming up to half of your football career.
Yeah.
Or what am I going to half?
Yeah, what are you?
I'm 32 now.
Yeah, you were at Cov, you know. So I think that them life skills that you get taught, you know, you don't go and pick them up playing for the Dog and Duck on a Sunday.
No, you don't.
Or
you don't.
You know, even if you're playing at like, you know, a Solihull Moors academy or an Alvechurch academy, you know, you're not going to pick up them life skills.
Did you find? Obviously, it was massively difficult for you, and obviously we talked about the pressure as well of being obviously from Atherstone. Everyone knows, so that would have been difficult. How is it then finding another club? Yeah. Obviously, you've already had the experience of Hinckley, so did that help you then?
Yeah, 100%. And I want to give a bit of a shout out to Dean Thomas, actually.
Yeah.
I think would be a great guest for you, by the way.
Everyone always does. Everyone always says Dean
Thomas.
Thomas.
You've had Dean Thomas mentioned, and stories about him is.
I always say that kind of period where there's two periods where I think I become a man in the game. I left being a kid and become a man. The first of them was at Hinckley, because Dean Thomas was a lovely bloke, but you got him in the dressing room and he would absolutely cane you. Do you know what I mean? Like he introduced me to non-league football. And there was, again, we'll go on to talk about it, but Barwell and the change room we had there. But yeah, it's a big shock coming from academy football to non-league football. Nothing can prepare you for it.
The style, I think, is completely different.
The style, the characters, the changing rooms, just everything.
I suppose it's easy. Am I right in saying, Gudger, it's easy to hate when you first start at non-league football because you're used to this professional environment?
I think it's just totally character dependent.
Right.
I think it's totally character dependent. The way I am, I love the non-league environment, and I did from a young age. Because I've always loved the beer, I've always loved the crack, I've always loved taking the piss. I can let people take the piss out of me. But I've seen other lads, as you've just said, absolutely hate it. Absolutely hate it. And I do just think it's character dependent.
Yeah,
I think so as well. Well, we had
at
Shane Byrne. He said like he fucking hated non-league football, didn't he? And he was like, but now he loves it. Yeah. Now he's you know, he's seen what it does for people, the community, volunteers, fans, everything like that. It's massive, isn't it?
I think it's a massive turntable, in my opinion, because when you're at these academies, you're taught to play a certain way, right? When you're at non-league, you are taught to play a certain way, and some teams in the higher steps play very nice football. There are nice services and stuff like that. But I think that when you're playing at non-league, you learn so much more. You learn, like, you can play from back to front very quickly, or you can try and play through, whereas at academy, it's just centre-halves on the edge of the 18, full-backs really high.
One thing I would say is, though, I think that's changing. I think that's coming a bit of a full circle now.
I do as well.
Because when I come out of full-time football, non-league was very different to what it is now.
Right.
I think in non-league now, you can come from an academy, and non-league clubs are still trying to, just starting to try and play that way. It's more football based. Whereas when I was signed for Hinckley, it literally was two big men up front and you just kick it as far and as hard as you can. If you dare go and get the ball off the keeper, you're off.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And I can see that now. When you were saying that, I thought it has come full circle, hasn't it? It's like you get a lot of academy coaches at non-league clubs now, don't you? Yeah. And they're trying to implement that system into non-league, and I think it can work, but I think there's a time as well where you have to play.
Yeah, don't ask me about that.
Classic non-league,
at all. I think it's bullshit, to be honest with
you. You like getting the ball as far away from the goal as possible, isn't it?
I think you've got to. I mean, it's all right in pre-season, and it's all right in August and perhaps April.
Yeah.
But for 6 months of a season, you're playing on cow fields. Let's be honest. Do you know what I mean? You can't. If you wanted to, you can't do it. And how many times have we seen teams try and play at the back and give away easy goals? Like, the hardest thing to do in football is to score a goal. Yeah. Don't give it away for free. Do you know what I mean?
That's it. So how was your time? So when you left and you joined, your first club was Tamworth, isn't it? That's where you first signed.
Yeah, I never actually signed for Hinckley on a contract as such. I was on loan from Cov. And then I come out and signed for Tamworth when I got released.
What step were they in, Gudge?
They were in the National League, it's known as now. Okay. They were step one.
Yeah.
And they were full time, which was brilliant.
Was that a big thing for you?
Yeah, I was determined to stay in the full time game. And with it being 10 minutes down the road, it was obviously absolutely ideal.
Yeah.
I'd actually gone on trial at Kettering that pre-season with Marcus Law. Marcus Law was a manager at Kettering at the time. And then he rung me and he said, I'm not going to sign you for Kettering, mate. He said, but I've just got a Tamworth job, keep it under wraps, I want to sign you there. So that's why I ended up signing for Tamworth. And one thing it hit me just how good the standard was. So I think as a kid you think, like, you're so much better than all these non-league footballers and the standard's not going to be great. But when you get there, you realise just how good the standard is.
Physicality, I bet, as well, isn't it?
Physicality, yeah. Everything about it. Everything about it. And there were so many ex-pros, even at that time, playing in the conference or national league as it's known now. And you've got to be on it, do you know what I mean? It was...
How did you find Marcus Law then?
Marcus... I like Marcus because he started me off in the non-league circuit, really. I think I was a bit of a scapegoat for him at times in my last year or so, but he gave me my chance.
Yeah.
So I'll always appreciate him for giving me my chance. And he was a very good coach. So that's one thing I'll say about Marcus.
We found that, didn't we?
Yeah.
The way he talked about
the game. The way he talked about the game, mate, was just...
It was like a different...
He knew the game, and
level.
He was... For me, I think he was probably in the wrong occupation. Like, I don't think he's a manager. I think he could have been in the league as a coach.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
If you know what I mean. I think if he thought about it and become a coach, I think he'd get further in the game than managing.
Yeah.
I want to bring up this one if I can, because we spoke a little bit about it off air, and I want to dig him out a little bit. I want to push his answer out of him. So we've got Tamworth, then obviously Hinckley. You know what's coming. Cambridge City.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that, mate. How did it come about? And then you can obviously tell us what you told us up there as well.
Well, this is why I've always been a little bit upset with Marcus on this one. I feel like he did me dirty a little bit on this. So he rung me one day and he said, look, I want you to go out on loan and get football. He said, I need to free up the budget, basically. You're not playing. He says, I've sorted you out a move. Me being me, I said, yeah, sound. So where am I going? He said, Cambridge City. So I said, yeah, okay, fine. And I put the phone down, when you think about it. And bearing in mind I was a young kid at the time, you don't like to chirp up so much, do you? So, anyway, I've gone away for a day, thought about it. And I've rung him back and I've said, look, I'm not signing for Cambridge City. I'm all for going on loan, but I'm not signing for Cambridge. And he said, well, they're the only ones willing to pay your wages in full. So I rung Jimmy Gianelli and I said, look, Jim, if I request to come on loan to use, what can you cover? I was almost doing my own deal, which is ridiculous. And he said, I can cover blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to say it. So I can cover blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't what Cambridge were willing to cover.
Right.
So because I didn't want to travel to Cambridge, I actually said to Marcus, thinking that he would turn around and say, don't worry about it. I turned around to Marcus and said, look, the 30, 40 quid that Barwell can't cover, just take it off my wages. I'd rather go to Barwell. Me thinking he's going to say, nah, don't worry. And he actually took that money off my wages and then went and signed for Barwell. I'll never forgive him for that. I think that's a shit move.
Yeah. It's doing your own deals as well.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've heard that. That's the first time I've heard that.
Yeah, I take it you knew Jimmy then.
Because I've always lived in Atherstone.
Yeah.
Obviously, when Jimmy was at the Adders.
Yeah.
I've mentioned him before, Noel Johnson. He was a coach under Jimmy, and he used to take me up to Manchester Rec to train with the first team when I was a kid. And he always said to me, it'd be good for you to train with the men. Do you know what I mean? Come and try me and Jimmy. So I knew him through that. Yeah. And he always said to me, like, when you're a bit older, you couldn't play for me or that. So I rung Noel and said, you got Jimmy's number? Now's probably the time.
Yeah.
And that's how I met Jimmy.
Because you had quite a few loans from Tamworth and that and stuff. And was it a bit of a sucker punch that you couldn't step into Tamworth, play week in, week out, moved back up those levels, and you were sort of shifted out on loan here, shifted out on loan there.
I mean,
odd game here and there.
It actually surprised me a few years back. Someone said to me, "How many games did you play for Tamworth?" And I didn't think it was as many as it was.
Right. Okay.
I remember thinking at the time, like you've just said, you know, you were out on loan a lot. You were on the bench. You didn't play. You did play. But I think I actually played about 70 times for them, something like that,
so,
in 3 seasons. Which, when you actually look at it, you look at it as an average of like, I don't know, say 25 a season. It's actually quite a lot of games.
Yeah.
But I was surprised myself at that because I did feel like I was on loan, but my loan spells were probably only a month, and then I was back and playing. Do you know what I mean? So
it's hard to settle that, isn't it? I suppose
it was. It was hard, and I think the frustrating thing again, like I spoke about Cov, I'm not delusional. If I'm not good enough, I know I'm not good enough. There's plenty of times where I can hold my hands up and say that. But I believed I was good enough to be playing in that side at the time, and other players in the squad believed I should have been playing, which that matters. Do you know what I mean? Your teammates' opinions matter, and I think because I was a young lad, because I weren't on a lot of money there, I was the easy one to.
Yeah.
Which is natural, you know. I understand and I get that, but
they had a strong team as well. Because I remember Marcus saying they had like Callum Wilson, didn't they?
Yeah, well, me and Cal
Ashley Kane was there, weren't he?
Yeah, Cal come on loan actually.
Yeah, he come on loan.
But it was a year where we got to. Marcus took us to Gudger.
Yeah.
In the FA Cup, and we played them in the 3rd round. But I'd actually played for Hinckley already.
Oh,
that year.
You're cup tied.
So I was cup tied. Yeah, I was cup tied.
That's a Carl Patterson would have been there as well, then, wouldn't he?
Pato was there. Yeah. Pato was there.
I remember him saying it, and I think I was looking, and it was a strong team. Like,
we did have a good side.
But I remember him saying as well, he liked to play fast wingers, didn't he?
Well, that's where I played most of my football at Tamworth. Yeah, me one side, Ashley Kane the other.
But the thing is, though, I think that you have this in football sometimes, don't you? Like, you'll always get in people's careers, you'll always get that one manager that. I mean, I'm not saying that Marcus weren't having you, because he signed you and he moved you from one club to another at the end of the day, or sort of in talks. But you always have that one manager that you know you won't have the best relationship with, or they're not really having you, and that was because everywhere else you've been, you've played.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say weren't having me for a second, you know, and I don't want to come across as negative about Marcus because he did give him a chance, and he was a very good coach, you know.
But he was probably under a lot of pressure as well.
But I think that's what it was. I think when things started going a bit south, I was not just me. There was a couple of others, but we were the scapegoats, the young lads, and we were the ones took out. And I don't think it was the right thing to do, but it is what it is.
But it's also a lesson and experience you've gained.
Yeah.
To go, I'll watch out for that next time, or...
Well, now I look back and I think, if I was a manager, do I want kids playing when, you know, I'm not saying they're not good enough, but do you want to chuck kids under the bus when times are getting tough?
Yeah.
Probably not. So, you know, I get it. But...
and you're one step away there from League Two as well, ain't you? At the time. So you've got to look after the young guns as well, ain't you? At the end of the day.
Yeah.
But you do leave Tamworth... I think it was after 3 years you there.
I had 3 seasons at
Tamworth. 3 seasons
there,
obviously. And then you joined Barwell, didn't you, on a permanent?
Joined Barwell permanent.
After, like, with Jimmy and that. And that's where I first met you.
Yes.
Actually, well, when you come on loan as well. I think I remember you doing your deal in the bar. Is that right? With Dave Lang.
I actually remember, well, I think I was on the golf course, I remember it now. It's a Atherstone golf course on the 8th tee, if you played the golf course before. And it's funny because it's the only place you can get signal up there. You're on the high point, it's like an elevated tee anyway.
Yeah.
So
is that par 3? Is that par 3 when it...
No, it's par 5 up
par 5. I know,
up Coastal Road.
Yes, I know, yeah.
So it was just weird how my phone rung the very second I got signal. And it was Jimmy. He said, right, he said, I've seen Tamworth put you've left, you come in sign for us, like, you know, finally, permanently. I said, yeah, sound. So he said, come to the bar, as you said, and we'll get the chairman down and we'll agree everything there.
Yeah. How did you find that changing room? Because that was a wild changing room, wasn't it?
Yeah, as I said a bit earlier, that turned me into like a proper...
Oh, it blended in.
A proper man.
I think that's where it started.
It was a fantastic but disgusting changing room at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Like, we had Guy, Lavs, Pellet, Scott, Guy's brother, Scott Lower,
Adland,
Hoodie. like Castle. The list, the list goes on. It's just 16 disgusting men in a changing room, to be honest.
And I think it's not right if we don't mention, as I found out, as I got ganged up on so many times, your best mate,
Jamie.
is that where it started? Your relationship?
Do you know what? No.
Really?
No. At Barwell, me and Hoodie didn't really ever speak. We didn't really ever speak.
Ow!
Again, I come in quite young, and you've got to understand, like, they are intimidating guys.
Yeah, and Hoodie at that time was probably about 45.
Hoodie was in his prime. Do you know what I mean? Hoodie was only 65 at the time, so he was still quite young. But yeah, we never really spoke a lot at Barwell. When I kind of got close to Hoodie was Leamington.
Right, okay.
Because we started to car share then.
Right.
Whereas Barwell, we're only both 10 minutes down the road.
The most hated partnership that I've ever formed. Fucking hated it.
You loved us, mate. You wouldn't change it for the world.
No, I wouldn't, mate. To be fair.
I'll still have him ringing me at 6 o'clock every morning now, mate.
Yeah.
Can't get rid of him.
Does he? Is he still ringing now?
Oh, mate, I can't get rid of him.
Oh, Gudger.
He does.
Oh, mate.
Remember that time when I scored that winner at OJM?
Oh, mate. What
Fuck
a
off, mate.
joke.
It was 3 years ago.
He's still reaping off the back of it.
Oh, mate.
Right. Still playing now as well. Fair play to him.
Fair play to him.
Incredible.
Playing
What a
now.
guy.
Yeah, I know what you mean about the change room. Did that open your eyes? Did that open your eyes and go?
Yeah. But I'm so grateful and so glad I went and signed for that team when I did. Because again, we're on about even life lessons, never mind football. They would demand nothing shy of 100% of you, that whole changing room. And if you didn't give 100%, you get fucked at half time.
Yeah.
You get fucked at full time. Do you know what I mean? And although we'd have a beer after, that's the way it was.
Yeah.
And if you didn't talk, if you didn't organise, if you didn't do all the basics of football, you were outed in that changing room.
Were you playing left back then, or were you playing still left winger?
I was in between the two, really.
Yeah.
In between the two, yeah.
So
I was left back until we signed. Remember when we signed Tony Capaldi?
Yes.
So I was left back, and then Tony signed, and then I got pushed up.
Yeah. That was another thing. I say this quite a few times on the Barwell. I always used to walk on the coach for a away day, and there'd be a new player there.
Yeah.
And it'd be
That's
someone,
Jimmy though, isn't it?
and it'd be someone like Tony Capaldi.
Pulled out of Wilder, yeah.
Ashley Kane sat after he'd been on Love Island.
Yeah,
and
I
all
remember
that.
that,
Were you
yeah.
on that?
Yeah,
That was
Ashley,
fuck. What was that? That was. Oh,
No, but that was after X on the beach.
Was that a New Year's Day thing? Was that a New Year's? It's like Kings Lynn away. I think he come, and he'd just done that. Take Me Out.
Oh, that's the one. That was the first one, yeah.
Mate, you never heard a coach go off. Honestly, and he sat in front of me, and we were on like this table thing and that, and he was just like saying obviously things are coming out and whatnot, and it's just like he actually played alright, to be fair.
Do you know what, Matt? I really like Ash. I think he
was a lovely bloke. Yeah, he was
misunderstood.
he was a lovely bloke.
I think he has to give off a certain persona for what he does, which I get. But I used to car share with him at Tamworth. I was at Tamworth with him as well, and he was a really, really nice, down to earth lad, which some people struggle to believe when I tell them now. But he was.
No, he's the same year as me. Actually,
I can vouch for that, because obviously when we had the first game I always met him was Kingsland away, 3-hour coach journey, whatever, and we sat on the same thing, and he was like a sound lad, and he spoke about his career and stuff and what
had happened. Is this when he played abroad and he was telling you about?
Yeah. He went to Russia, I think, or somewhere like that, and he did his ligament.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he hadn't actually signed a deal, so he wasn't officially a player.
So he didn't want to let him know he was injured or whatever.
No. He got injured in the game, so he played.
Oh, did he?
Deal was all ready to go, but they had like a pre-season game or something. We'll sign the contract after the game. Literally 15 seconds in. What's it called? On the back of your ankle. Achilles gone, and the club were like, "You're not technically signed with us, mate." And he had to get a taxi to like a hospital and all sorts. I remember we should get him on to speak about it, to be fair, because it would have been
probably
crazy.
Good guest actually.
Yeah, but yeah, it was some of the players he signed, Jimmy. I mean, how did you get on with Jimmy? That would have been your only sort of.
I like.
Well, yeah, Nuneaton as well.
At Barwell, I got on with Jimmy very well. Nuneaton, not so much.
Right. Yeah.
Nuneaton, not so much. But again, like, I can't. I'm so appreciative of what Jimmy introduced me to. And give me. He's, if it weren't for people like Jimmy, I wouldn't have had the career I've had.
Yeah.
So I've got two things for you, Gudger. So how old were you when you went to Barwell?
Barwell, I would have been 20, maybe
Still
21.
then. And what level were they at?
They were step 3.
Yeah, it was like Northern.
Southern. I think we started them in Northern, then we switched to the Southern, didn't we? I think
before it come the Central thing.
Yeah.
Tough league, mate.
Oh, real tough league, especially that Northern league.
But you weren't long at Barwell, were you? Did you go to when did Worcester?
On and off.
Was you on and
loan
off?
spells and stuff. I was probably there a good year and a half, I'd say. I think I signed for Barwell at 20, and I think I signed for Worcester at 22. So on and off, probably a year and a half, 2 years maybe.
So how come the move to Worcester then?
Well, Worcester rang me the year I signed for Barwell, actually. Out of nowhere. I didn't know. It was Carl Healy was the manager at the time.
Yeah,
didn't know him, didn't know anything about him. He obviously just watched. I think he said he watched me at Tamworth. So he said, "Do you want to sign?" And I said, "Look," I've already agreed to deal with Barwell. I don't really want to do Jimmy over, like, do you know what I mean? It's been good to me. So anyway, the end of Barwell, it got a little bit not sour, but I weren't playing. So I rung Carl and I said, "Look, I ain't really playing. I'm not really enjoying it anymore. Is the deal still on the table?" He said, "Yeah, 100%, mate. Come down." So I went down there, and again, it felt a little bit like my last couple of years at Tamworth, and face didn't really fit with Carl. So I went there. I think I probably only played. You might know more than me. I think I only played about 15 games, maybe, if that. So I didn't have a great time there.
What level were they then, Worcester? Was that when they were high?
Conference North.
Conference North. Yeah. And
again, I'm the most unlucky player in the FA Cup ever. It was the year they got to the Rico and beat Worcester. But again, I'd already played in the FA Cup for Barwell. So I was cup tied. I was just going to the side and I was cup tied again.
You've been done twice there.
Done twice dirty.
They're big opportunities as well, isn't it? We speak about this a lot about the FA Cup and how much it can project
these are the games that
you shot window.
That's the dream. Do you know what I mean?
And you've been denied 2 opportunities of playing in those
at quite a young age.
At a young age, yeah. Like you said, like you still could bump up those few levels and that. Did you go and watch the games and stuff? I take it though.
I went to Goodison.
Yeah.
Went to Goodison and lived the day in and did the warm up on the pitch and that. And even that was surreal.
Yeah.
Because the stadium's full just before. You know what I mean? It was like wow. I didn't go to the Rico. I was a bit bitter about that one. So I didn't turn up. I want to play golf instead. But
so that's not a bad compromise.
If you could say now then, Gudge, could you sum up your career now at this point? So now we're at Worcester and it's not kind of worked out. So realistically, right, a number of different clubs, low moves, short times at clubs. Were you frustrated?
I was very frustrated. Very frustrated. I was only 22. I hadn't had any experience. You're still not a kid, but you're not grown up enough to know, just go again. Just go again. Do you know what I mean? You're relying on your family telling you, keep your head up, go again. But there's only so many times you can hear that.
Because you all want that club where you settle, don't you?
Yeah, but realistically, you've came from the conference at the time, and then, you're coming sort of closer and closer to your prime, and you're finding yourself low move, then I'm going here, then I'm at the north, then I'm in the south.
That was the frustration. I felt like I honestly believed, and you know me, I'm not, I believed and knew I was good enough. I think that made it even more frustrating. If I knew I was having a stinker or not good enough, I can accept that. But I think that made it more frustrating until my hero come along.
I was going to say, so was that, obviously, was it a bit refreshing when Paul Holloran come along and Leamington come knocking and you sort of walked in there?
I mean, that was, what a club. What a man, what a club. And I had 6 unbelievable years in Leamington. Like, I can't say enough good about the club, I really can't. I can't say enough good about Paul, the fans, just everything about the place.
Yeah, it is such a nice club. You have that feeling. Did you have that feeling when you had that conversation with Paul Holloran?
Yeah, you feel loved instantly, and I think that's what you learn as you get older in the game. I think you learn that how important man management is.
Yeah, people skills.
Just how important it is.
Yeah,
it's like any walk of life. If you feel loved in what you're doing, you're going to excel. If you don't feel loved, you're not going to excel. And he makes every player, but in their own unique way. I don't know how he does it. I genuinely don't know how he does it. But he makes every player in their own unique way feel special and feel like they would literally die on the pitch. You know what I mean? You give everything for him.
Was Hoodie there at the time?
Hoodie wasn't. I joined in the February.
You joined 2015.
February 2015, I think I joined in the Step 2 National League North, and we got relegated that year. we had to be fair, it was a poor side for the level. And then that summer, Huddy signed, Breed signed again. I think we went and signed Steph Moore. We went and signed a real good side again. Yeah. And that's when we went back up and got back into the National League North.
So we've got down here, you made your debut against Harrogate Town, who now play in League Two.
It's Harrogate away, yeah.
1-1 draw.
Yeah, correct.
So did you think then that after that first game, and it's sort of like, it's an easy question to answer, but I think sometimes if you sit back and reflect, did you think you'd go on to make 200 appearances for Leamington after that first game?
I suppose not. No, I suppose you don't really.
Yeah.
You're not thinking about it at the time, are you?
I suppose with what you've just come from as well.
Yeah.
I was just so appreciative to be, even after one game, just feel loved. And I thought straight away, I like it here. I really like it here.
Only up the road as well, isn't it, Lem?
Yeah, it's
good night out over there
minutes.
as well.
Yeah.
Good, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
no comment. But yeah, I worked in Cov at the time as well, which was ideal, so I could nip from Cov to Leamington. But yeah, I'm so glad and grateful I got to make, as you say, nearly 200 appearances for them. It was a great time.
What would you say is your most memorable time at Leamington?
The 1 year we won the playoff final. We beat Hitchin, and they were a right bunch of wankers, like a right bunch of wankers. We could never beat them. They were a bogey side, and they're one of them teams where they'd wind you up on the pitch. You get reeled into it. You couldn't help it. You get sucked into it.
Someone would get sent off.
You're off your game. Usually, Uddy got sent off, and they'd be in the change rooms after banging the walls. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was so frustrating. And they beat us. I think they beat us 4 times in a row. And we ended up getting them in the playoff final. And we were really quite downbeat about it. We thought we'd never beat these. But we actually beat them on the day. And it was unbelievable. What a season that was. To win the playoffs is... I've lost playoff finals, I've won playoff finals, and it's... To win a playoff final is the best season, best feeling in the world. And then we actually went and won a cup at the Molyneux as well a week after.
What would that have been? That would have been
17, I think that was. I think it was 16, 17.
Yeah. What trophy? What cup is that?
Birmingham Senior.
Birmingham Senior. That's the one.
Senior.
Yeah, they've won that quite a few times, haven't they? They are quite successful in that.
They won it twice when I was there, and then they've won it a couple of times since I've left.
Would that have been the best ground that you'd have played at to date when you were?
I'd say the Molyneux.
Yeah.
The Molyneux. Obviously, I went to Gudger and warmed up on it, but I can't claim to play on that one. But to actually play on, Molyneux.
Was it at Leamington then? Because you always used to talk about this. Whenever there was a set piece around the edge of the 18, you'd always go, Google me. Look on YouTube.
You scored a screaming, didn't you?
Do we have to talk about this? Okay.
But you were quite prolific, weren't you? With your set plays.
Do you know what it was? I would always practice them at training, and I felt so good on them and sharp at them. But whenever I'd run up, the Oogie, I could hear him now. He got red as a tomato, mate, Oogie. Gudger, get back. I can't leave Woody there. He's got no pace, do you know what I mean? Like, he can't stay at the back in his own. So I used to get forced to stay back. And it was Salford away one year. And I don't know why. Oogie was shouting at me to get back, and I just ignored him. I thought I fancied this, like, do you know what I mean? So I hit the one and...
Stance.
Yeah, went in, yeah. I mean, I was on them ever since then, yeah.
Did any more go in after that one?
No, not one. Don't think I beat the wall after that.
But
it didn't matter.
Yeah, always used to say it. YouTube me, Google me, Salford away. Always said it.
It was a famous going every week, weren't it? That's what did it for.
Yeah, because that's when they would have been up and coming with like the Gary Neville and all that, like in charge of it, wasn't it?
Well, I think we were on Super 6 that day.
Well, yeah.
And I had that many messages after saying you've ruined me fucking Super 6. Like. And they had like, I think it was at the time they were top of that National League at the time.
They were flying through.
I think they were like 15 games unbeaten. I think we were the first team we actually won that day. I think we were the first team to beat them at their place. So it was again another great day and what a memory.
A bit of we've obviously gone on a high, back to a bit of a low.
Turn it now.
It did have a bit of a tough time there, though, didn't you? Is that where your first serious injury was at Leamington?
Yeah, I did my ACL. Did my ACL in 2019.
Yeah. How did that happen?
2019. Do you know what? Not you probably know better than me. You're a physio, but no contact really.
Yeah,
I was kind of shepherding the ball out for a throw in, and I just remember feeling this sharp pain, and I thought, what has gone on here?
Mm-hmm.
Screaming on the floor, and got up 5 minutes later, disappeared. I tried to come back on. Really, really strange. I've never felt a pain like it. And tried to carry on. And the physio said, just leave it, mate. No point risking it. I think we were 3-0 at the time.
Was it when you were turning? Is that when you could...
Honestly, mate, I can't remember a lot about it.
Really?
Because I just remember this pain, and that's all I remember. And I was literally screaming.
So you got it all checked out, and it turned out to be that.
I went for a scan. Within 10 minutes of sitting on the bench and stopping, it was the size of a balloon.
Was that? Yeah.
So I think we, in our heart of hearts, knew what it was.
And that's a game changer, isn't it?
How long were you out with that one?
Massively. Well, it was a weird one because I was out for probably 9 months, but then by the time I come back, COVID had hit.
Right, okay.
So I ended up having probably 2 years out of the game.
Yeah.
Because of the time it took to recover, and then the timing of it clashing with COVID. I probably haven't played for 2 years.
How did you find that like mentally?
Mentally, that's mad.
Tough.
Yeah.
Real tough.
What were you doing, Gudge?
Well, I couldn't physically do anything for 9 months. Obviously, because of my
couldn't
ACL
even
anyway.
like...
I was stretching, and I did my garage out as a bit of a gym, and I was trying to bang the squats and trying to do what I could. To be fair to Jimmy, again, I'm going back to Jimmy, I actually signed for Nuneaton just after COVID, so he let me go to the ground and do a bit of running there and everything. But I noticed a massive difference in my body.
Really?
And my ability, if I'm being true with myself, when I come back for that, I just couldn't get to the levels that I once was.
Is that when the switch come from left back to centre back?
No, I still played left back for Nuneaton,
yeah.
but I couldn't get forward like I used to.
Weren't as quick.
There was wingers. I've always backed myself one-on-one against any winger.
Yeah.
Always have. But there was wingers knocking it past me, and I couldn't quite get there. And I thought,
was it a bit of both? Was it physical or was it mental in your head, do you reckon?
probably a bit of both.
Yeah.
Probably a bit of both. But there's no denying the physical side.
Yeah,
It does get you.
I really believe that if that COVID wouldn't have come, it'd have been a different story. Because you see people do their ACLs, and after 9 months they come back, and you know, they're back to their normal selves, or sometimes even better.
So you reckon that extra time out?
I think that's killed you a bit.
I think you're probably right. Yeah, I think you're probably right. I mean, I had 6-7 months out last season.
Yeah.
With my knee, I did it again, but I've managed to come back from that. I feel actually okay now.
Yeah.
So you're probably right. That extra, you're doubling your time out of the game, and it's.
But it's mental as well, because I bet you were stuck in home. You weren't in work. Or am I wrong? Or
weren't on the golf course.
It was tough for everyone, weren't it? COVID, it really was. But especially just getting fit again and just ready to play the game again, and you can't even do that.
It's a 5K.
It's probably double bubble, really. For
it's a different fitness, isn't it? We talk about it all the time. You can do as many 5Ks as you want.
I can't do that, mate. I've never done a pre-season and done 5Ks. I've always just done short, sharp sprints. Well, nowadays, not a lot. But
bowling.
Bowling.
Yeah.
Bowling and golf.
Ice bath.
Yeah.
Was it a bit of a... How disappointed were you to leave Leamington, though, and for it to sort of end on that injury?
I was gutted.
Long stint there,
a long stint there.
It was.
You're settled. You've got a manager like you. You've got a best mate like Jamie Hurd. You know, you're loved by the fans there. It's going well. Was that? Yeah.
It was a tough time. And I was at my peak then, 26, 27.
Yeah.
I felt good. I felt strong. I felt I probably could have pushed on back into the National League at that time.
And that's what I wanted to say. Was that still in your mind, Gudge?
100%.
All the time I want to get back up.
Yeah, I backed myself as the best left back in that league at the time. That's just always been my mentality. And I honestly believe I could have gone back into the full-time game. If it might not have been right with my job at the time and everything. I felt like I could have done it.
Those conversations could have happened.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly. Or at least, sign for a bigger part-time club.
Yeah.
Just not Cambridge City.
No, not Cambridge City.
Nowhere far than 10 miles from Atherstone, basically.
But that was at a time where the money in that league was starting to get ridiculous, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could have gone and earned silly money still playing part-time.
So obviously you had a bit of time at the Nuneaton. Did it just... It's fair, the Nuneaton were going for a bit of a tough time as well.
Yeah, they just come from COVID, but like I said earlier, I know when I'm honest with myself.
Yeah.
I know when I'm doing well, I know when I'm not doing well. And I weren't good enough at the Nuneaton.
No.
I can say what I want about Jimmy, not playing me there, but I weren't good enough. I weren't sharp enough, I weren't fit enough, I weren't what I was before my injury. So
Were they step 3 then?
they were step 3, yeah.
Yeah.
And his mate Jamie Hood came and signed as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
This is when they started to come
As a
bundle.
Yeah.
This is when he just followed you around, wasn't it?
This is when it
Can't
was.
get rid of him. Go away,
Where are you
stop
going? Where are you going, Gudge? I think I'm going to go to Nuneaton. I'll have a word with the gaffer, see if you can
That
get me
literally
there.
what it was.
Every time.
Literally what it was.
You should have said to him,
rung
I'm
me,
going
I've
Cambridge
just,
City.
He rung me, I've just... you're going to get a call off Adam Davis. I said, what? You're going to get a call off Adam Davis? I said, why? So I've just signed for Atherstone. He said, you're coming as well. I said, I'm on.
Your deal.
He said, yeah. Literally, he said, I've sorted you the same money as me. He said, I might be captain. He spoke about it, possibly. You're going to be vice captain. He said, I've got it all sussed. It was there, mate.
Just imagine him though, like you can just imagine
Put
him.
the phone down. I
doing
said, oh, cheers, Jamie.
Good.
You pick up the phone, sorry mate, I can't come to you step 2. I'm just sorting my move
And I
out.
swear that I'm alive, if you ask your kid now, 10 minutes later, phone call rung. I thought, this has got to be Adam Davis. Answered, hello, it's Adam Davis.
Yeah.
I've sorted your deal with Jamie Hood.
They're each other's agents, mate. Insane.
So what a perfect way to go on to Atherstone Town, the Adders, the mighty Adders. Obviously, local boy, local team, obviously Atherstone Rangers.
Yeah.
Jamie Hood certainly deals out Adam Davis and Ross Innes as managers. Obviously, Lee was the coach there. Well, I might have been not there yet, but
I think you were.
I might have been, yeah.
You were there,
remember.
yeah. You
I
were
was
there,
there,
yeah, definitely.
It's all a blur. How was that? How was that for you? Obviously, you're dropping down to step 6, though.
Yes.
So let's be real about it. As much as you've had success here, going from step 3 down to step 6.
Yeah.
What was in your mind now?
If it wasn't Atherstone, it wouldn't have been something I would even considered.
Yeah.
I could have got fit and still played step 3 at the time. Could have dropped into step 4, step 5. But do you know what? After, like you said, I had 2 years of frustration. I just was desperate and craving to fall back in love with the game. And I thought, if there's anywhere that can give me that, it will be Atherstone.
Yeah.
Money, I've never chased money, never in my life. I took a hell of a pay cut to come, but I didn't care. Do you know what I mean? I was just desperate to fall in love with the game again, and it's the best decision I made. Thank God I did.
Sometimes it is, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Sometimes those decisions you make can be the best
Yeah.
ones. Were you? It's on the top of my tongue what I was going to say. Did you always see yourself coming to
This is
Atherstone
what I was
during your
gonna say,
career?
yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
I always
Really?
wanted. I've always said I wanted to ended where I started. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to go full circle.
Yeah.
Earlier than I envisioned, admittedly, but yeah, I always wanted to play for Atherstone. I don't think people quite understand how much I love this club. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My granddads have been coming down for years. My dad's always been down. I was down, and I'll always be. I'm an Adders fan. I'm lucky to be the captain now and where I am. First and foremost, I'm an Adders fan, and I just want the best for this club.
But it didn't take you long, did it? Because you could see in the performances, and I could see, it's weird what this podcast does sometimes, because I've known you for a very long time, and I've heard stuff and seen stuff sat in this room today that makes so much sense for the way that you played at Atherstone and the way that you were, and how nurturing you are to them young lads and young people that we brought in. And it seems like all that little pool of what you learn got put into here.
Yeah,
I feel. I really do.
Oh yeah.
I think me and Hoodie signing, because there's not a lot of difference between the levels, ability-wise. Like Alex Norton, when we come down here,
Yeah.
I said to Woody, I said, this geezer's a joke. Like, he's better than ability-wise, he's better than anyone I've played with. In step 1, step 2, ridiculous. And it weren't just him, by the way. There was so many good players at this club when we signed.
Eugene.
Well, Eugene actually come a bit later, didn't he?
That coming out.
Me and Woody got him his move. He still never brought us some beer Morettis. But yeah, I think it's a mentality thing.
Yeah.
When you come down to step 5, 6. And even the gaffer to this day, we still speak about regularly, he says, you and Uddy changed the mentality.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
I
Your
agree,
kid said
mate.
it, Ross has said it, and he said it's a mentality thing. You've got to
Demand more, mate.
demand more.
Yeah.
and set them standards.
Yeah.
And when it's not going well, scrape out a draw because you're doing the right things. Scrape out a win. Keep a clean sheet. I think that's the difference between the levels, personally.
You showed that passion on the pitch, didn't you?
Mate.
But also off the
created an
pitch as well.
environment, yeah.
And you sort of, you know, there's things like clapping the fans and stuff
Yeah.
like that, which you made sure that happened, and in the bar and stuff, and just that community feel, weren't it?
And
That-
let's not forget about the things that really matter in non-league football as well. As much as the football matters, we could all text each other in the group chat on a Friday night and say, right lads, tomorrow we're going to go out after the game, and what a fucking night we'd have.
Oh mate, we'd only be in the Out and Beaver, but you'd be in the Out and Beaver with half the attendance that was at the game, and you're talking about the game, and you're having a laugh, you're having a beer, and it's just...
There's no price on that.
No, it's not.
yeah.
There's not.
No, you don't.
Was it hard? Sorry, Cookie.
That's all right.
Was it hard, Gudge, coming in and sort of taking orders off people that you didn't really know, and lads that at the time you probably didn't even know about in Adam and Ross? Was that, or was that not a factor for you at all?
No, look, the way I am, your boss is your boss, and you respect your boss.
Yeah.
Don't matter where you might have been, where they might have been, your boss is your boss, and you respect what they say. And that's just the way I've been brought up, do you know what I mean? So, but very quickly after speaking to Adam and Ross, the passion they've got for the game, the way they treat you as people, not just as players.
That people management again, coming back in.
A bit like Oogie.
Yeah.
A bit like I've got with
Yeah.
Tomo now.
Yeah.
I want to play for these people, and I respect them as people, and therefore as managers. Do you know what I mean? So, no, I didn't really find it difficult, to be honest.
How good was it, and your memories of winning the league? Obviously, we always spoke about it, haven't we? But
What a year, yeah. I mean, I speak about my years at Leamington, but it meant so much more doing it at Atherstone.
yeah,
That year we won the league. I mean, we were getting 4s, 5s down there,
Yeah.
winning every week. I don't think we lost at home that year, did we? I think we lost one game all year.
yeah, it was
Stayed
very early in the league, weren't it?
The changing room was ridiculous. We could all have it out, but then we'd all have a laugh, and we'll probably come on to this a little bit later on with like the young players now, but we had that, do you know what I mean? We'd absolutely, I'm not going to swear too much, we'd fuck each other off on the pitch.
Yeah.
But you get back in the changing rooms and you laugh about it, you shake hands, and it was done. But that's the mentality we had in that changing room, and everyone was the same, everyone was on board, and that's why we won the league by 16 points. We had unbelievable quality, and we were just like mental beasts that year. We were.
Did you feel pressure, knowing it's your hometown club?
I felt
knowing what it would mean for the club to be promoted to Step 5, which they've been chasing for quite a long time. Let's be real about.
If I'm being totally honest, it was a bit of a different kind of pressure.
Yeah.
Because my friends were down there every week, my family were down every week. Because of the level I played, people expected and demanded of me to come in and make it look easy. And it's not, that isn't the case. People
Fair
don't
play
understand.
to you, mate, for admitting that.
People don't understand that it's not that easy. And like I just said, the players are good.
Yeah.
You sometimes you could turn up to a game, like you remember when we that one game that we lost, and
Stay Pernil.
that Tierney,
Yeah.
big geezer, and like Uddy's a big lad.
That when Hoodie went running up front.
Yeah.
Went up front for the last 20 minutes, didn't
Yeah.
they? Left me at the back of my own.
But the thing is, right, some games you turn up playing at Step 6 and Step 5, and you play against some lad who, on his day, he might just be having an absolute worldie. But good players, mate.
Yeah, mate, there's very good players at the level. And the older I've got and the longer I've been at the level, the young kids coming through now are just better players anyway. It's a fact. They're better players than we ever were when we were kids. So the level's getting better, which then means that the levels above are getting better. And it was a shock of just how good people at this level were for me. It really was. I'll be honest, I probably come into it with a little bit of arrogance, thinking 3 to 6 should be a piece of piss, but it's not.
Fair play, mate.
It's not.
So yeah, obviously good times promotion
Yeah.
and all that.
Vars runs.
How did you? Yeah,
That's one of
Vars
the
run.
best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still, I
That
know it's
hurts,
weird.
that, doesn't
I know
it?
it's weird to say because the OJM day was like ridiculous,
unreal, wasn't it?
And
Just
it's
the
hard to
yeah.
ever think of beating that. But one that comes very close, and it was year after, is Eccles Hill away.
Oh my God.
That was one of the best days I think I've had in football.
Yeah.
And because it was the Vars, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it was the Vars, and that year.
That year felt like it was going to happen as well, didn't it? And I think the Newport Pagnell was just
Mate,
I can't talk about it now. It's still stinging now.
Still, it hurts, doesn't it? It really
Not
hurts.
blame.
Can't blame one.
As you've just said, I think.
I'm not blaming you. No, Callum, if you're listening, I'm not blaming you. But it obviously hit the bar at the end.
Not blaming you, you had no composure.
Yeah.
Who gave away the penalties? Is it Hoodie?
Hoodie gave away one, and Alec Hill gave away the
it was,
other.
weren't it? Yeah.
What signing he was, boy.
Yeah,
He was good, weren't he?
He was good, mate.
In fact, the only thing he did wrong was like give away that penalty.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. He was solid all season, weren't he?
But I think that year, as you say, it was like I honestly believed in my heart of hearts that we were going to Wembley. There wasn't a doubt in my mind. And I think everyone had that same
Yeah,
mentality.
I think
didn't
we
we?
all
Mate, do
did.
you want to know something? Looking back on it now,
And I think if we would have got past Newport, we
Yeah.
would have won that. We would have got. We would.
yeah,
I think
look,
we got
looking back on it now, it's a fucking good job we didn't, because we'd have teared the place upside down,
Oh,
mate.
Jesus Christ, man.
We would have, though.
Imagine
the whole of
Can you
Atherstone
remember-
would have been.
5,000
when
Atherstone
You
lads
said
coming up
Eccles
there.
Hill. Was it that game where we stopped off at the services? Guys?
Yeah.
God.
Fucking hell, we
know.
caused carnage, mate.
Mate, carnage.
Absolute carnage.
I remember speaking to the boys around the town. Like, we got to the quarterfinals, and some of the things they were planning to do at London, mate. I thought, it's probably best that we're not going here.
Oh well, what to be? But how did you feel when Adam and Ross left?
Shocked,
Yeah.
very shocked. I just didn't see it coming.
No.
Especially when I'd had a conversation with Adam, probably in a week before, and we're talking about next season and planning for next season. Do you know any lads? You know. So I was really surprised, and
then, yeah.
got like half gutted, to be fair, because
You wanted to continue
every
the game, didn't you?
experience and happy memory that I had at this club was because of them. Do you know what I mean? They let me in, and I still text them now. You know, I'm forever grateful of what Adam and Ross gave me. They made me fall back in love with the game, which was massive for me.
I think it's fair to say after that, though, Gudger, it was a little bit of a rocky road, weren't it?
Yeah, it was very
different managers.
very strange.
Yeah.
Very strange time.
But then now, well, we sat in one of the rooms. Is it nice to know that you're a part of Atherstone now and it's on the up?
Massively. I think, I was saying to you off air,
Yeah.
I think this is the best place this club has been in. And I can say this with confidence because I'm an Atherstone fan, I've been around the club.
Yeah.
I think this is the best place the club has been in as a whole. When you look at things like this,
Yeah.
things like the guys here videoing, the volunteers that we've got pushing this club on,
Yeah.
the youth team setup we've got, the players we've got in the first team now, the gaffers we've got in charge at the first team. Everything about the club now is positive. Everything. And it's frustrating to see the gates not where they should be, because this is the best time to be an Atherstone fan, in my opinion.
Well,
Or
this
be
is the
involved in
highest they've
club
ever been, yeah.
easily. And I
Yeah.
hope that people see that. And hopefully something like this, a bit of a shout out to get them back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll come back. This club is in a great place at the minute.
Absolutely.
Probably the best place it's been in 20 years.
Yeah, definitely. No, I definitely.
I agree.
Well said. Like it's you want to see those gates fall, don't you? You want to see
You do.
the pitch surrounded.
It's
and
a
that,
memory for you to look back on, though, for the rest of your life, knowing that you came here when they were at step 6,
Yeah.
and you've gone through that transition, and there's been lows, but now it's on a high. That story's to tell, innit?
Oh, brilliant.
Do
I
you know what I
always said
mean?
when I signed, I said I'd love to leave this club in a better place than when I signed for it.
Yeah.
And hopefully I can, turn around and say when I'm finished in 4 or 5 years' time, if I'm if I'm lucky,
Look at that. It's going to be following Hoodie round
if I'm lucky,
in a Zimmer frame.
I can say, I've took them from step 6 to step 4, worn the armband, and it was the proudest 6-7 years of my career.
Yeah.
Well, I think, mate, they'll have a statue in you and Uddy outside the front, just outside the mayor. That's what I reckon.
Oh,
a statue of Jamie Hood scoring an over a kick.
be an ugly statue.
No,
That's
sorry,
it.
was it weren't over a kick?
It weren't a volley, weren't it?
Lob the keeper.
Lob
didn't
What
he?
were you thinking when he did that, Gudge?
I was thinking, please don't go in. I'd rather win the league next week. I can't listen to this for the rest of my life.
He's not stopped talking about
No,
that.
what a finish. And yeah, thank God it went in, because what a day. What a day.
Yeah, well, that was a mad day. That was.
Yeah.
But that's Uddy, innit? I know we give him stick, but what a player.
Oh, mate.
What a player.
How you finding working with Tomo? What's he, young manager?
I think
He's been at the game, been at the club.
An ex-teammate.
Well, I've known Tomo for a lot longer than people realise. I was at Cov Academy with Tomo.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we knew each other from the age of 8-9. And we did always kind of keep a bit of contact through Facebook and the like. And a lovely bloke. His dad used to stand and talk to my mum and dad, and you know how it is. But it was a bit of a weird, similar to Woody. It was weird, or I thought it would be weird playing for someone that I've played with. But what a job he's done, hasn't he? And I think he's picked his backroom staff brilliantly. I think Nath, Norts, Blythy's come into it. Needs is there. I think it just works and it gels. And look, we're sat being fifth, potentially, with the ability to go second if we win a game in hand. It speaks for itself, doesn't it, really, about the job he's doing.
What about the young lads in the team? What's he coming through in that? How you finding that?
Brilliant, yeah. I was talking to
obviously Lee,
to Dave over in the car park before this, and Titch and Jacob. Titch, what a lad. What a great kid.
He's a mini Gudge. That's what he
is.
What
a great kid.
He's a mini Gudge.
It's good to see him coming out of his shell. And Jacob's a bit shyer, but he's been brilliant when he's played.
Scored at the weekend, didn't he?
Yeah, he scored, mate. Left swinger.
And you know what I love about them two in particular? I'm sure the rest of youth team are the same, but what I love about them two, for me, in an age where kids are soft and you can't speak to them and they cry whenever you say a word to them.
Thumb up.
You asked Titch after 15 minutes Saturday. I absolutely laid a new arsehole into him, right? But I grabbed him at half time and said, "Look, mate," I said, "You've set your high standards here. I'll give you a bollocking after 15 minutes, but you've been brilliant the last 25. I only want the best for you. Don't take it personally." Yeah, sound good. Thanks for that, mate. That was his reaction, and I love that.
And then he's close behind you, man of the match, weren't he? They said they put it on the Facebook.
Yeah, they were brilliant. And to be fair to Jacob, he's the same. He's shy, but he'll never, backchat or take anything personally. I think they accept and understand that I want to learn from you.
Have you found that? Have you sort of took that role upon yourself to give as much experience and as much knowledge to young players, or even people in the dressing room who could be people like, I don't know, let's say Quinny or Collins or whatever, and sort of say from your own experience?
You're surrounded by lads that play in your position, but Jack Wells, for instance, what a player he can be.
Mate, unbelievable.
So I think you're bang on right. How do you sort of pass and spoon feed that knowledge down, Gudge?
What I'm trying to do is just to get them. Jack Wells is a perfect example. All the ability in the world. Great player, unbelievable. Like, we do one-on-ones and 5 hours in training. You can't get near him. But I say to Wellesley, all you need to do now is learn the art of talking. You can talk your way through a game. I do it every week.
Hoodie did it for a whole season.
Hoodie does it every week. And if you can just instill that steel and that bit of old school mentality into these young kids, so much better than I am and we ever were, that they'll go a long way. But that's what I'm trying to and hoping to give to these kids. Like, you got to be a man now. Play like a man, act like a man, carry yourself like a man. Because you're good players.
But I think that's because you come from the times of your Dean Thomases.
Yeah.
Lavs, Guy,
takes you back to the Barwell changing rooms.
Barwell changing rooms. You had to have a voice that sort of.
But you still have to in non-league now.
But you have to in non-league.
You look at the players that play a long time in non-league. Tell me one of them that you look at an old school player who doesn't talk, who's not a horrible bastard when they need to be. They're all. You'd say the same things about them all.
Do you know one person that really influenced it for me? Learning with my first year here with Atherstone, with Adam and Ross, who had that horrible old school mentality, but was just unbelievable to be around, and he upset people. Chris Tullin, mate.
Tools.
Chris Tullin was incredible.
What
mate.
a perfect example, yeah.
Like, played 600 games in non-league.
But that's why he's played at step 2, 3 all his career, because that's what you have to do to get to that level.
You see the ability that people like Jack Wells and people have got, and you go, you can play at high decent level. Don't waste it.
This is my frustration. This is my frustration with not just the lads in our team, but just younger players in general now. Yeah. I think they've gone soft.
4 games gone.
Yeah.
If I ain't playing in 4 games, I'm gone.
Yeah. The mentality is soft.
Yeah.
The week I've shouted at people and they've like sort of crying or
look like they want the world to swallow them up.
But just it's not personal. You just want your teammates just want the best for you.
And 3 points at the end of the day.
Nothing's personal, is it?
Yeah.
And that's what I'd love Jacob as an example. I'd love him to take my shirt in a year's time, retire me. He's an Atherstone kid, and he goes on to be a horrible bastard.
He's got it in him,
He's got
mate.
unbelievable ability,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah,
And going, because he could go and play,
absolutely, I agree.
Step
And I'm not just
3,
saying that
2.
because he, yeah,
but he got to learn, and it'll come, it's an age thing.
yeah,
I'm not saying he's not got it, I think he has,
yeah.
but he needs to consistently start doing it now.
Mm.
And if he does, he'll go a long way. And Titch has already got, I think Titch has got it built
Titch
in.
has already got that in him,
Yeah,
hasn't
Tish is a horrible
Yeah.
little fucker.
I think some people are naturally have it, don't they? I suppose his dad played football there, didn't
Yeah,
he?
his dad
He's
played
been
at a good
around it and
level.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Any signs of management after? Is that you or not?
I think Cuddy's put me off alive, to be fair. I think Cuddy's put me off alive.
Number
Hearing
2
some of the
to-
stories he's had to go
Oh
through.
God!
I don't know. It's a tough one. I've got 2 young kids myself now.
Yeah.
Can you imagine life without football, though, Gudge? You've been in it so long, from
No.
such a young age.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Until I'm out of it as a player, I don't honestly know. But I can't imagine being away from it though.
But he's still got a lot of years. He's still
But
got a good few years.
But this is
hasn't
kind of what I'm getting at. Would I go and watch my lad every week and perhaps do that,
Yeah,
coach
yeah,
on
right,
his sides, or would I stay in this environment? I'm not sure.
It's hard to.
see
I
what
think it's hard to replace, and this is why I stayed with the 18s and this club, because I just thought made so many memories here.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh
The-
God, you miss it from a social side as well.
Oh.
You know, it's the best thing in the world, isn't it?
mate, my
To be a
missus says
part.
it to me all the time, walking round Asda, and you just stick your thumb up to someone. No, mate, yeah, blah, blah. How'd you know in football?
Yeah.
Next one, how'd you know in football?
Yeah.
It's incredible, like the circuit and the things that it can do
Yeah.
for you.
Especially living local and
Yeah.
you know, you go into every pub in the town and you're talking about the Adders instantly.
Yeah,
You can't talk about anything else, but you enjoy
yeah,
it.
it's nice, isn't it?
I think it don't matter how many clubs you swing or envision yourself swinging, nothing will ever replace.
Nah.
It's just a
it's-
different
it is.
feeling.
It is.
But yeah, it's future's bright for Atherstone, definitely.
Oh, mate.
It's exciting times.
100%.
So yeah, it's
100%.
good to be involved, isn't it? It's good to be. Well, you're involved
Mm.
and yourself.
Let's just get the fans back through the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hopefully people listen to this and we'll start coming back through the door. because
Another little promotion would be nice, though, wouldn't it?
Oh, I think so.
We're good enough. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But there's 5 good teams up there,
Yeah.
and it is. I know every playoff is a lottery.
And only one goes up through automatic, and
I think Lichfield have won it now. I don't see anyone catching Lichfield. Fair play to them. Fair play to Ivor Wayne. You know, they've been knocking on the door for a few years.
Yeah, we missed that
And if
last
we
year, didn't
don't
we?
win it, I genuinely hope they do. You know,
Yeah.
I think they deserve it. And they've been up there a long time.
Yeah.
It's hard to stay up there when you're up there. You know what it's like.
Well, yeah, we had the same thing.
So
didn't we?
if they do go on and win it, fair play to them. You know, fully deserved.
I want to play devil's advocate then, Gudge. If you didn't, you still cut you open and you bleed Atherstone, another season we go again. Would that be you?
Is this like an exclusive scoop here or something?
No?
So just so I'm clear on what you're asking. Go on, say it again.
If they didn't get promoted this
Yeah.
year, you'd still be, you'd go again and
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And this is probably being too honest in a way. But for me, I feel like it's a win. It's a win-win. Obviously, I want to get promoted. Of course, that is the aim, and I'd love to get promoted. And weirdly enough, the only level I've never played in the non-league circuit is Step 4.
Right.
So that's another thing I want to tick off. I've done 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. I'd like to play 4. But there's still something just absolutely like drilled into my mind that I want to get this club to Wembley.
Yeah.
And if we get promoted, that doesn't happen.
Because you won't have the vase.
Because we're not in the vase.
It's a trophy.
So
Is it
for
a
me,
trophy?
it's
Yeah.
like, I'd love to go up. But if we don't, I'm obsessed with getting this club to Wembley. That's what I want to do.
Imagine.
That'd be
Do you know what I mean?
nuts. That'd be nuts.
And
You'd
I
have
know
the
we
fans
can
then,
do
mate.
it. Yeah. So it's like 100% if we don't go up on, playing for as long as I can.
I like
Yeah,
that. I think
yeah,
I
love
like
it.
that.
I love you have that vision as well and that,
Yeah.
that belief. You've been brilliant, Gudge. We're going to have some quick fires if that's all right. A bit more
Yeah.
in depth about it, yeah? Best player you played against?
I'd have to say Jamie Vardy. Fleetwood Tamworth.
Fleetwood Tamworth. Jamie Vardy. Was he a
Fleetwood
rat?
Tamworth. Well, he actually, I was left back that game and he was right on the front three. So it was directly against as well. And he was just rapido, mate.
Was it?
Rapido, yeah. I spin it and he's just so sharp off the mark. And I was quick then, but mate, so sharp.
I think this will be a tough one for you, mate. Best player you've played with?
Played with.
You can name a couple if you want, mate.
I've always said the three that stand out.
Go on.
One, I have to mention him, even though I don't think he's got the ability of the other two. But because he's gone and scored international goals, I have to say Callum Wilson.
Yeah.
But the two best players, there was two, and I think they're very alike. I would say Lee Carsley.
Where was that?
Cov.
Yeah.
Although I never played a first team game, I played reserve games with him, so I'm going to count that.
Yeah, that's fair.
He was a joke. And Lee Hendry at Tamworth.
Yes.
Lee Hendry at Tamworth. Very, very similar players. Never lost the ball. 2 steps ahead of everyone else before the ball come to them. Attitudes were spot on. You could see why they've done what they've done.
I'm going to be a bit of a prick here. I'm going to put it on you here. Best player you've played with at Atherstone.
Ooh.
There's a good few to pick from as well, I'd say.
It's difficult because the best players one I think is tough because there's best players in terms of ability, which that's easy. Alex Norton. Ability. I'm going to sound biased here, but because of what he's done at the game and where he's played and the amount of games he's played, I've got to say Hoodie. I can't not say Hoodie.
But
when he was
a
fit,
great player though.
You haven't seen him at Leamington.
Yeah.
When he
that's
was
what I was gonna say.
fit and sub 40, he was ridiculous. And you know what? He would have 10 points every Friday night. Still does now. 10 points every Friday night. His pre-match meal is a bacon and egg
roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And he never looked after himself. And if he did, he was hands down the best centre half I played with.
Wow.
He could have played, and I wish I never said this because he's going to live off this, but he was very good. Yeah. And I can't not say Hoodie really.
We haven't mentioned it. You and Williams.
Yeah.
You three created that
yeah.
weird partnership.
Well,
Well, not weird.
yeah.
It is a
Yeah.
beautiful partnership.
Yeah.
Of you and Hoodie took this 17-year-old lad,
16
Yeah.
he'd been at the
16,
time.
and
Yeah.
you
Moulded
it's like you
him.
moulded him to
Yeah.
what you wanted him to be.
Well,
He
actually-
sat in front of you.
Yeah. I actually taught Ewan at school. Not a
Did
lot of
ya?
people know this. I was his PE teacher at school.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I was his PE teacher at school. So he used to teach me his vest and pants and everything. Do you know what I mean? He used to remind him of that.
I'll never forget that first game he played, Gudge. I don't know if you played.
Didn't he come on away at
It was
Heath? No, not
Heath Hayes.
Heath Hayes.
And he made them unbelievable
Yeah.
block tackles, and we went away there with
Yes.
like a 2-1 win.
Yeah,
And Norton had to come off,
yeah.
and we had Sam Boucher up front on his
He
own.
never left from there, did he?
No.
Never left from there. But what a player! What a player! Just fit as a fiddle. Me and Uddy talked him for the game. To be honest with you, he used to
Yeah.
hate us.
Yeah,
Probably still hates us for it now.
yeah,
But I think we taught him. I think we give him that mentality.
yeah.
You're not going to do any worse than this, mate. So, take it, get on with it.
Yeah.
And he did, and he was so fit, so
Could you
energetic.
see something in his ability and gone, you can fucking play higher here?
Well, he's a weird one because I used to teach Jimmy Matthews.
Yeah.
I used to teach him and Jimmy, and they were good mates. They come through together. And again, like we just spoke about Norts and Hoodie. If you're speaking about natural ability, Jimmy's so much better than Ewan,
Yeah.
ability-wise.
Yeah.
Ewan reminds me a little bit of myself, and he won't mind me saying this. He's a good footballer, but he's not an unbelievable footballer. But he's absolutely everything else.
But he's got the fight.
He's
The dog in him.
He's mentally
Yeah.
strong. He's committed. He's fit. He's everything that suits non-league, and I think he'll go along
And
way
I
non-league.
bet you were so buzzing when you seen him get the move to Leamington, obviously with Oogie.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Couldn't have gone to a better place. And he did. To be fair to him, he did kind of. And Rich as well. Rich's dad. Me and Uddy knew Rich anyway.
Yeah.
They were on the phone to me and Uddy before he went, and we couldn't obviously say.
And Eugene. They call him that. They call
We
him
told
that.
Oogie,
Leamington.
we
Eugene
told
now,
Oogie
we-
on the pod, mate.
Told him.
Yeah.
And I saw a tweet. He obviously scored at the weekend, didn't he?
He scored 2.
Got two
Scored
at the
2.
weekend.
And Adam Walker tweeted something Eugene. So he tweeted it, and I thought that's class. Like,
Good kid.
that's come
Still
through.
see him up the town now. We have a beer now
Yeah.
still. And he reminds me.
Favourite memory in football?
It has to be the year we won that league.
Yeah.
Just because of this
That's
club.
incredible.
Yeah.
Of all the leagues that you've played in. And,
It's meant the most to me.
yeah.
It's meant the most to me, for sure.
Class. Favourite TV series or programme that you're watching at the minute, Gudge?
I'm a bit boring like that, to be fair. I've only just discovered how to use Netflix. Never like that.
That is such a caveman.
I've just I'm looking forward to Stranger Things coming back out this year. I like Stranger Things.
Good, yeah.
But you know what? I like watching a lot of YouTube golf and that now.
Yeah,
yeah.
I do as well.
Do you watch the Jimmy Bullard thing?
Jimmy Bullard, Grant Hover, Rick Shield. I like all them. I sit and watch them in bed a lot of the time, to be fair.
Mm. Biggest name in your phone book? Can't say Jamie Hood.
Biggest name in my phone book? It's probably an old number, but I'll probably have to go Callum Wilson.
Yeah, nice, fair play.
Nice.
Go on.
Favourite takeaway, mate? Pinocchio's.
I eat too many these days. I would have to go Chinese.
Yeah.
I have to go Chinese.
What about idol growing up? Did you have an idol growing up?
Idol growing up was always Ashley Cole.
Yeah.
I was a
that's a
left back.
different one.
That's
I
a
like
different
that.
one.
Ashley Cole
He was class.
by country mile.
I've seen it come up on my phone the other day, actually. Can you remember that game where he played for England and he marked Ronaldo?
Oh, unbelievable.
Or was it for Arsenal against Man United? I can't remember. But
I think there was two. I think there was one against England.
Absolutely obliterated Ronaldo.
Yeah,
the whole game.
What a left back.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What about? Oh, was it? Yeah,
it's me, mate.
Sorry,
yeah.
mate.
First ever live game you went to, Gudge? Can you remember?
First ever live game. It probably wasn't, but the first one I can actually remember going to was Villa Everton at Villa Park. I was probably about
Decent game, though.
8.
Nice.
Do you have any superstitions?
Loads.
Yeah.
Very bad for it, yeah.
Go on.
Name
Give
of
us
very
a
bad
bad
for it.
if you.
Do you know what? It depends. Like, if we haven't lost a game for a while, like I remember what soccer put on first. I remember what song I listened to in the shower that day. I remember what I had for the pre-match meal. I'm very bad.
Oh.
Really?
I'll change it up or switch it up if we lose a game.
Yeah.
But while we're winning games, I do everything
The same.
precisely the same.
Yeah.
I'm quite bad for it. Yeah.
Fair play.
Favourite holiday destination?
Ooh.
Loves an
If
holiday
you'd,
as well.
if you'd have asked me 3 years ago, it'd have been Benidorm, hands down. But Dubai's coming into the frame there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's
I love him in Dubai.
upgraded now.
Yeah.
Benidorm to Dubai.
It's not a very big upgrade, is it? Bloody hell.
Oh,
Jesus
just
Christ.
nip off to Dubai. It's alright. Best team night out.
Best team night out. Wow. Do you know what? I'm not going to class it as night out, but it was a team holiday. That one, Magaluf, I mean,
Very
the year
good,
was a
mate.
good one.
Is that you?
That was very good.
Out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we took Eugene out there, yeah.
Yeah.
Pissed his pants in what was it? What's the place called? Mambo's.
Yeah.
Pissed his pants in Mambo's, didn't he?
Yeah.
But,
Do you remember
weren't
that one day we all got sunburnt, Gudge, when we were, and somebody upset Cows really bad because they slapped him because he was red raw. And
Well,
where was that place?
That was the day we
it?
took the kitty. That was Mambo's, wasn't
That
it?
was Mambo's.
Yeah,
And we were
England
watching
played.
there was me, you and Cows left because all them
Yeah.
lot went somewhere else.
They
And we
went
were
into
watching
a fish
England.
restaurant eating fucking frogwa in a lad's holiday. I was thinking, mate, you come to the right place here. Where'd the old kitty left to myself?
Yeah. Yeah. That was a great holiday, mate.
I'd probably have to go that one, yeah. Probably have to go with that. That was good.
Fair play. Gudge, you've been class. Thank you for sharing your journey with us.
Yeah.
Obviously, class at Atherstone. We really appreciate it. We wish you all the best for the season. What a journey, yeah.
Yeah, cheers for having me,
It's all
guys.
been
Much
class.
appreciated, yeah.
And make sure you like, subscribe, follow, and enjoy it. So, yeah.
Thank you very much.